Hi there, Angela.
Hey, Myrna.
Oh, it's good to see you. I guess we're here again for another Ascension meeting with the Ascension ground crew.
Yeah, if
So,
you got the memo, look at us. We're in the same color.
oh, I guess, yes, it's a blue day.
I
We're having our blue period,
love
like,
when we sync up like that.
well, we have talked before about, will we have enough to talk about? Yes, yes, we will. It turns out there's plenty going on, and I'm excited to be leading this meeting as it's my turn. So I'll tell you what was on my mind, and then I'm going to turn it over to you. What was on my mind was something we call vibration separation. And that's not my term. It's one coined sort of in the spiritual community. Goodness knows where.
Mm.
I don't know. But Brian and I are working on a book about how to manage sort of your vibratory level along the work of Dr. David Hawkins. And uh, some people will come in, for instance, at a cocktail party and they'll do a vibe check. It's like, what's the vibe of this place? Or someone who nobody likes walks into a room and all of the room, the mood seems to shift. You can kind of feel it and notice it. So vibration is a thing, even if you're not thinking about chakras and energy systems and, the different kinds of healing modalities, but vibration separation, as I identify it, is when people that you seem to have kinship with, their family, their coworkers, their friends, their neighbors, somehow there's a separation in that kinship. It's like it doesn't fit anymore, or it's kind of complete and done. It's
Mm,
all done.
mhm.
And it sort of creeps up on you or sneaks up on you. Wow, I got invited to the barbecue that I go to every year. I don't want to go this year. Why don't I want to go? And I think as we are, whether we want to or not, maybe ascending, maybe growing, participating in the change of whatever's happening, changes come about. We can just be done with something.
Mhm.
And it doesn't mean it's wrong or it never was good. It just means it's kind of over. And it's hard when you're on the receiving end of that. I had this thought in mind because I saw a woman on Twitter say her best friend of 30 years, since elementary school, they were calling each other sisters, has now told her publicly in a social media post she no longer wants to be friends.
Oh.
Not just not friends in Facebook, but also not friends in real life. And there isn't a specific thing that was done, there isn't a specific thing that was said. She's just no longer invited to participate in this woman's life, her best friend, her sister from another mister, if you will. And being on the receiving end of that can feel bad, but I think it somehow serves us. So I know every once in a while when I'm working with a client or I'm challenged with something myself, I learned years ago from a therapist actually, who would say, how is that change serving you? Or how is that problem serving you? And I'm like, the problem is serving me? What kind of thinking is that? But in fact, it is. It's a catalyst to move in another direction, or it's an acknowledgement that backyard barbecues aren't really my thing anymore. I don't know why, but I'm going to skip this one. We'll see if I want to go next year to roll with it. That maybe this change is serving both parties, even though the change itself might feel difficult. So whether you're the one that's feeling the separation or being separated from, I think it's a part of this ascension cycle. The last thing I'll say about that is the other side of the coin, living in a duality, is also true, which is vibration attraction. So I've heard from two clients recently who said, I suddenly have a new group of friends and we're clicking like super fast. I sat down and talked at a birthday cocktail party and I'm wearing some obscure band t-shirt. And the strange woman, I mean, nice woman, but a stranger to me, she knew the band. And it turns out we share the same Southern California punk rock history. So we're talking about it. We would just click like this, and that was happening with everybody in the room. And so while there has been a separation, which can feel disorienting and can sometimes feel unfriendly, there's also this attraction feature that's happening at the same time. So I guess I'm looking forward to hearing the attraction stories as well as the separation stories as we all move in the direction we're intended to move in in this ascension cycle. Oh goodness. Okay, those are my thoughts. How are you
So
doing this?
maybe finding new communities, as it were, right? Yeah.
Yeah, online, in person, however that is. Yeah.
Yeah, so I wonder if that is specifically an ascension thing, but I think that it's both. I think there comes a time on your human journey where you start to come into awareness of I guess, how you're built versus how someone else is built. Maybe
Mhm.
you've been on a journey with them together and then they change or you change or they don't change and you change or vice versa or whatever. And the journey just takes you into different paths. And it doesn't have to be publicly declared. That kind of blows my mind. I would never want someone to be
Yeah.
like discussing their relationship with me on Facebook in a
I'm breaking up with
completely
you and
derogatory
in
way,
front of
but
my 5,000 friends. Yeah.
I mean, wow. But nevertheless, I mean, no judgment. If that's the way that person needs to process it, so be it. It wouldn't be my choice.
Mhm.
But I think we've always had this. I think back to, the friendships that I had back in high school and when you go to college and you're not at the same college anymore and you lose touch. And then your life is evolving separately, right? And then if you see them again, or you happen to come across them, or you go to the party and everybody's there or whatever, or God
Mhm.
forbid it's a class reunion. But you know what I'm saying, where you're going and then you're re-meeting up with people, you realize just how different your lives went. And you're not meant to continue to associate with people in like a snapshot title. Here's a snapshot of our life, and let's freeze frame it. And then
Mhm.
when we see each other again, we'll be exactly like that again, So it's not the way it works. And so I think that's been part of our journey anyway, just as humans going through a development process, aging, life experiences happening to us, losing loved ones, getting married, having children, choosing not to have children, moving to different communities, having those experiences that are different than someone else.
Mhm.
Likewise, I think you can have people who are in your life that are on a journey that might be in parallel with you. Maybe they're not going through the exact same thing, and you are both evolving, right? And you can have a really interesting friendship with them where you come back together and then converse about what's going on and
Mhm.
then maybe find some similarities, some, what do you call it, vibration attraction, right?
Mhm.
And then you
Mhm.
start to really realize, hey, we still do have some zinginess. And so let's do this again because there's still some zinginess here. But we're
Mhm.
not necessarily having the same life. We're not really necessarily on the same path per se, but we still have that kind of feeling of comfort. And
Mhm.
maybe that is there is a vibrational frequency that we're resonating on, even though we're doing it in a different way, right? And I think we can be on a vibrational frequency that's similar, but maybe not necessarily wanting to
Mhm.
vibe together per se.
Mhm.
So I think
Mhm.
it's a lot more complicated. Not to shoot down what you were saying, because I hear what you're saying and I believe wholeheartedly in what you're saying about this vibration of separation, vibration attraction. But I really think that it has a lot more complexity to it. And I think it's also been part of our psychological journey, the journey of the mind and the human being and the self-esteem and the journey of the self-identity. I think that's part of what's happening. I think what is going to blow my mind, because I'm excited about it, I'm ready for it to happen. I think
Mhm.
I'm ready for it to, I think I'm ready for it to happen,
As much as
which
we can
is
tell.
if we get into a true ascension situation where we are, whatever they want to call it, the fifth dimensional vibration, frequency, whatever, where we're in this kind of superhuman capability, meaning that we have telepathy, we believe in harmony, we don't have strife, we don't look at each other in a bifurcated, polarized type of way. It's it's truly the representation of the terminology namaste, which is the light in me recognizes and honors the light in you, right? And that harmonious connection, right?
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, then you're going to know, do we need to do something together or not? Instantly. You'll know instantly whether you're vibing together or not vibing together, right? And you won't have any opinion about it. You won't have any judgment about it. It won't be, my vibe is better than your vibe. My
Oh yeah.
choices are better than your choices, or
Yeah.
I can't relate to you, so bye bye. I mean, and there's this kind of judgment going on.
Hmm.
But that won't exist in that kind of state. And this is what I'm praying for. This is what I am working toward, that we as a human body, humanity, that to me would be the ascension thing, where, vibrations, there won't be a vibration separation or a vibration attraction, because we'll just kind of walk around a little bit more omnipotent than we are right now, with a
Hmm.
little bit more sense of what you're doing, and what you're creating, and what you're creating together or not creating together. And it's love what you're doing. Thanks for sharing what you're doing. This is awesome. Here's what I'm doing, and sharing what you're doing. And there's no fear of judgment. There's no narcissistic, codependent type of, BS going on. We're not in that kind of state anymore, right? But I think right now we're trying to, like, those kind of energies are coming in to invite us to be that way. And then we recognize those energies that are inviting us to be that way, and it opens our eyes, and we look around and go, wow, look at all the judgment. Look at all the lack of
Hmm.
discernment. Wow. Not only for me, but in others.
Hmm.
And what would be the contrast to that? What would be the, a way to be in a more harmonious way? And so that's kind of how I'm thinking of it as far as that goes. Also, too, when you were talking, I was thinking about boundaries. How this isn't it similar to boundaries, right? When you have gotten to the point where you think, or you understand, this individual or these individuals are behaving and acting in a certain way that doesn't resonate with me, to use the frequency terms. And
Hmm.
so, therefore, I need to put a gentle boundary, or a gentle no, that I'm not going to necessarily try to sip at the well of that vibrational frequency. It's just not interesting to me anymore, or whatever. And I think you can do this in a gentle way. I don't think it has to be jolting. You don't have to make a declaration to the person per se. I feel that's just my point of view. But then that could be part of Angela's thing, which is conflict aversion. Why do we have to be in conflict about things, you know? So that might just be my overlay of my personality on that. But, if we could just, get along in a way that it's like, you do you, I'll do me, all is well. It's cool, different strokes for different folks, as the lyric to the song goes, right? So that's kind of my thoughts a little bit. They're a little bit all over the place, but as you were talking, I was just wondering, how is that different than what we've ever always been? Have we always been on an ascension journey? So maybe this is descriptive for, what we have been going through all along. My entire life, I've noticed that. And then maybe there's also this thing about boundary, and then having to declare it, going on Facebook and declaring the boundary. I mean, it's over. Our friendship, divorce, I mean, it's like, we've
Yeah,
divorced each other in the friendship, scene. And I just want everybody to know. So if you want to go pick sides, I'm not friends with that person
exactly.
anymore,
Pick a side.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
I think, as I listen sometimes when clients talk, so I think there's a little bit of a distinction here in the phases of life. Obviously, we move through different categories of where we spend our time. I think about college kids and what they do in their free time. And if you get married and have small children, your adult friends don't want to hang out at the 1-year-old birthday party. It's like now you're in a new phase of life, right? So
Yes.
that's always been true. And if you have coworkers and you're in a bowling league and you stop working there, maybe you don't renew the bowling league because the common ground has shifted, and
Mhm.
there's kind of a natural phasing of that as we go through life. Kids are out of the house. Now it's time to travel. People who still have kids in the house aren't available to do the long weekend with you in Monterey
Yeah.
because they still have kids in the house. So I mean, I think there's some functional phasing in life that has that natural affinity for people. But I guess the thing I've been seeing more of is for no reason. I
Yeah.
woke up this morning, I don't want to go to this job anymore. I can't point to why. It's not
Mm.
because I have a fight with my boss. It's not because I'm not good at what I do. I still like what I do. I don't want to go to that office anymore and do it for them. And I don't have there's no way to puzzle out why this change. I just know I'm feeling this change. That was kind of the clue for me about how there's a strain of this that might be different.
I hear you and I agree with you but I do also think that there's something else going on here. The individual who's waking up in the morning saying, I don't want to go to that job and I don't know why. There's no logical reason. It pays me well. And they're
Mhm,
talking themselves into going back. But
mhm,
there's something inside of them that they haven't gotten voice to, but they're waking up to it,
mhm,
which
mhm,
is this isn't the true me. This
mhm,
isn't I have put aside parts and pieces of myself. I've compromised
mhm,
enough of myself that this isn't comfortable anymore to compromise myself. So I
mhm,
would say that definitely is ascension. That's an ascension symptom
mhm,
because in a higher vibrational state of being, when you are in a when you're in the light and it's shining so bright on you and you're shining back to it and you're in
mhm,
light, everything is seen. Nothing can be hidden, right? And so the I'll stuff this down, I'll just put up with the BS, or I'll just, it's good, it's okay. It's like you have zero intolerance for putting up with anything that doesn't resonate with the light of the joy, the feeling of that, right?
mhm,
I looked at this whole thing about Marie Kondo and the KonMari and what gives you joy, and on the surface it seems superficial and silly. Like, okay, does this marker give me
mhm.
joy?
Do you have happy socks
Does it give
rolled up properly?
joy? It's an
My socks, they're
object.
happy. Yeah.
It's not, who cares if, whatever, right?
Mhm,
But joy, the frequency of joy is super important. Super important. So it's not about the object, it's about the feeling that I have.
mhm,
So if I look at this and I go, no, it's just functional, I don't care about it, it doesn't give me joy. So why do I have it? I have five of these, whatever. And so if I wanted to remove them, minimalize or whatever, I could, and it'd be okay. But if I like, oh, I love this color. It makes me feel so good when I use it. It writes so smoothly. It has this cool little feature that when you pop, it pulls out a little postie. Isn't this so cute? And this is making me happy happy, then I'm in the vibration of happiness, right? And I
mhm,
think that's what is really, really important. So a person waking up and feeling like that job or that those people in that organization are vibrating they're still in their stuffing it down. I'm stuffing it down kind of mentality or vibration. And you wake up like literally and figuratively to, I don't want to stuff it down anymore, then yeah, you could be having a vibration separation from the people who are willing to and still stuck in or sleep enough that they don't even know they are stuffing it down, just like you were yesterday before you
mhm,
went to bed and woke up this morning with this weird feeling that this is not what you want to do. Or
mhm,
every day you're waking up with an increasing feeling, this is not where I want to go or who I want to be with or what I want to do.
mhm,
And so, yeah, and not to judge that, but to notice it and
mhm,
recognize that that vibration is increasing, light is shining in on things and laying bare anything that isn't for
mhm,
the best for all concerned, yourself and for others. And if you're
mhm,
showing up to a job that you're like, oh, I'm just putting up with this and I don't feel this is the right place for me to be, and I'm kind of like zombie walking through it. Well, that's not helpful to those people around you either. If you're not in joy
mhm.
over and having fun. So, okay, boy,
Well,
you just
I guess
unleashed a little rant in me, Myrna. That was fun.
the someone who's worked in career for so long as expert in career, the career thing, was front and center. Well, the last thing I'll say, and then your final thoughts, please, is there was a sense for a while, I think coming out of COVID, where We need to wake people up. People should not be asleep. They're calling them sheeple or, derogatory terms. And actually, if we think about that, someone has organized this place and is running it properly, even if it looks disrupted right now, the people that are asleep now have permission to stay asleep.
Yeah.
The people that are waking up have permission to wake up. The people that are already awake have permission to watch it all happening. People can do what's next best and right for them. And so there might be somebody going to that job, super loving it,
Hmm.
super going for a promotion, super thrilled that they could afford a new car and they're in their right place and happy, and other people not feeling that. And however things are evolving for you is the right way for you. But it's when it's a mystery, like I can't explain to myself why it's happening, that might be part of a spiritual journey instead of
Yeah.
a workplace journey. And, it might be inside that you turn to.
Yeah, it's always inside. No matter what externally, the external thing that you're seeing, it's all inside, right? The a source, creator, God, in divine intelligence, divine architect, whatever you want to call the power that's divine and you're a part of and that's greater, um,
Mhm.
it's like here, it's in you, right? Inside you. And so it might be calling you. It might be calling you
Knock, knock, knock,
to
knock.
something
Knock,
else,
knock, knock, knock.
right? And it not might not necessarily be a vibration separation per se, but just you're being called and if you're awakening to it and you're responding to it, awesome. It can create a sense of challenge because of the fact that, if you're feeling called to do something, whether it's moving, whether it's, ending a relationship, whether it's ending, moving from one job to another job or leaving a job and becoming an entrepreneur, whatever crazy, wild, courageous, going to take a lot of, courage to do it, situation that you're feeling called to do and responding to it. Because, we've been there, we've done this
Doing it
several
right
times
now,
in our lifetime,
in
right?
this very moment, doing it right now.
Yes, right. Even so, if you are attuned inside, what's going on inside to that calling, yeah, that's your vibration. That's your vibration attraction, if you want to call it, to the divine, to the calling, to the whatever you believe in that guides your life, right? Whether it's you that guides your life, a higher intelligence part of you that guides your life, or a divine oversoul consciousness that guides your life. Um, there's this call to that, right? There's a vibration attraction to that.
Mhm.
So, I think to just not get so hung up around what other people are doing and whether you're vibing with them or not. And if you are caught up in that, ultimately that is really hooking into the kind of almost the primal reptilian part of the brain that has the sense of I need to belong in the tribe and I need the tribe to accept me. And if it doesn't, then I could die. I need survival by belonging to the tribe. And if
Mhm.
I'm not vibing with the tribe, then danger, danger.
Mhm.
This
Mhm.
is life-threatening possibility, so there's this kind of deep-seated deep in our brain kind of knee-jerk reaction to that. And so vibration separation or any kind of separation from other humans can make us feel very off, like very challenging. But to really then go connect into that centered place
Mhm.
and help you really start to realize that it doesn't matter what you think
Mhm.
you're separated. You're not really separated.
Mhm.
You're
Mhm.
all one with everything and everyone. And,
Mhm.
you can tap into that perspective, that God perspective, so to speak.
Mhm.
There's no separation.
Mhm.
There's no
Yes.
separation or attraction. They're just what is. It's
Mhm.
just what is.
Well, namaste, Angela. The light in
Namaste.
me sees the light in you. This was another fun ascension conversation from the ground crew. I
Yeah.
appreciate the opportunity for us to do this. Okay,
Yes.
see you next time.
See ya.